If you're out and you want to give a man a chance to approach you, this is what you're going to do.
How to meet and approach men in real life.
If you're starting to ask yourself, why don't men approach me in the wild? Why can't I meet men in the wild? What am I doing wrong? What is it going to take in order to meet a great man?
Men not approaching you in public has nothing to do with you being too pretty or too intimidating. It has everything.
The shoes are on the other foot now. Now modern women are wondering how to get men to approach them. At the same time, many are making the initiative themselves approaching. This is where the modern dating scene is today.
If you're out and you want to give a man a chance to approach you, this is what you're going to do. You're going to look at him, wait until he notices that you're looking at him. When he looks at you, you're going to look away. Then you're going to look at him again with a subtle smile, very subtle. And then this time you're going to wait until he looks away. And then you're not going to look at him again. Then you're going to wait until he comes and talks to you. Try that.
You are not ugly. Guys don't approach you because they know they can't afford you. Probably because it's either giving you're too expensive, you're giving high maintenance, or I think I'm better than you. And you might be. Trust me, a man knows when you're out of his league. That man is either going to choose to shoot a shot. Those are the ones you should run far, far away from. Or he's going to recognize immediately this is going to require way more of a chase than I am prepared to give. And you have to respect that level of awareness. Oh no, girl, it's not you. But remember, don't say nothing. Don't ask no questions. Just pay attention.
This woman cannot be serious. This is what's called entitlement. A lot of women would rather believe men are intimidated by their value than admit men may simply not see the reward as worth the risk. If a woman gives off high-maintenance energy, arrogance, or a sense that a man has to chase and prove himself before she even offers basic warmth, many men will just keep walking. That is not because she is too valuable. It is because the interaction already looks exhausting. Modern women helped create a dating culture where men are cautious, rejected publicly, called creepy, and expected to perform for approval. Now when men stop volunteering for that humiliation, some women call it being out of his league. No. Sometimes he looked at the cost and decided peace was better.
Men, if you're approaching a woman, the thing you're saying doesn't matter. It's the energy that you're saying it with that matters. You come in with a lack of confidence or fear or desperation, we can smell that from a mile away. It really depends on the vibe you're bringing, not so much what you're saying.
If you want men to approach you, do your makeup using your beautiful features that you already have. Wear a cute dress, not too revealing, because you don't. Okay, super revealing clothes attract the wrong type of attention. Wear something kind of elegant. Okay, look at people in the eye, the ones that you think are cute and think that, you want. Look at them in the eye and smile when they pass by. You'll get approached. It's that simple. Be friendly. Be nice.
You guys are out here talking about the male loneliness epidemic. Mind you, I just posted a video saying, hey, men need to bring back the art of asking women out and approaching them. Every man in the comments was like, nope, your turn. We're not doing that. We don't, for what? For an expense? Yeah, you guys aren't worth it. Next time. There is no male loneliness epidemic. They don't want it. They don't care.
A lot of women are shocked that men are saying no now. They bring up the male loneliness epidemic, like it means men should automatically chase them again. But loneliness does not mean a man is willing to be humiliated. It does not mean he will approach women who have made the process hostile, expensive, or unrewarding. When men say your turn, they are not always being bitter. Sometimes they are pointing out the imbalance. Men were expected to risk rejection, pay for dates, initiate everything, and still get called creepy for trying. Now many are asking women to carry some of that risk too, and instead of understanding the point, some women take it as an insult.
I know some of you ladies are so scared to make the first move, so I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. Okay, at step 1, we have grab him by the hips, all right? You grab those hips. 2, you feel his pockets, okay? And you put your hand inside the pockets. And then when you feel like a wallet in the pocket, what you want to do is grab the wallet and run. Don't kiss him. Rob him, sis. Rob him.
You need help.
This might be a hot take, but I really don't fucking care. I think women should start approaching men more, and I'm so serious. And I don't mean that in a feminist equality type of way. I mean it in it's more efficient that way type of way. And anybody that knows me in real life knows that I be sharking dudes for real. Like, anytime I'm outside, bitch, I will pick and choose who I want to talk to, and I will walk right up to you and talk. And a lot of women think I'm crazy for that. And I am crazy. But there's also a method to my madness, you feel me? Because it's like, the way I see it, you have one of two options when you're outside, right? You could get approached by 5 different men that you probably wouldn't touch with a 10-foot fucking pole. Or you could walk into a bar, look around the room, find the one that you find attractive, and walk straight up to him. Like, it just makes good business sense, you feel me? Time is money, shit. And they never see it coming, because women don't typically do this, but shit, these other bitches minnows, I'm a shark.
Women complain about the quality of men who approach them, but many refuse to take any action toward the men they actually find attractive. Then they blame men for not choosing correctly. At some point, adults have to participate in their own dating lives. Men have been expected to do that forever. If women want better outcomes in public, more of them may have to stop playing passive and start being direct. This is the practical answer a lot of women avoid. If a woman sees the man she actually wants, approaching him is more efficient than waiting for 5 men she does not want to walk up first. That is not feminism. That is common sense.
It's always the biggest red flag when older men always date younger women, not just because it's gross, but also because you're dating that age because that age doesn't know the red flags and they don't have the self-worth yet. So why do you always need them, you know, to validate you? If you're like 35, what about you is not matching up to women that are 35?
Yeah, exactly.
Dating apps are so bad now, you're going to have to start approaching men back in the wild again. These are some things that I did in the 90s that work really well. Say to him, are you looking to date someone? Do you want me to be your wing woman? What kind of woman are you interested in? And then hope that he describes basically you. Say to him, oh my God, you smell amazing. Oh my God, what aftershave is that? I've said this before, but tell him you used to have such a big crush on him. Honestly, he will spend the rest of his life trying to make you have a crush on him again. Ask him to carry something for you, anything, literally anything. And then go, oh my God, I can't believe that you carried that by yourself. Let him overhear you raving about him to someone else, not for his looks, but just for some character attribute, like, oh, did you hear Simon then? Simon said this really funny thing. Or, did you hear that song? Simon put that on the stereo. He's like really good, isn't he? If anything funny is happening around you, like if you're in a coffee shop and there's someone talking really loudly, or if you're on a train and there's someone being really weird on the train, then look at the person you fancy and catch their eye and smile. Nothing brings you closer than both of you having a moment about someone else who's being a bit. Break the ice, and then if he fancies you, he can man up and ask you for a date. If he doesn't ask you for a date, it usually means he's lacking a lot of confidence, or you're just not his type.
These tricks reveal what many women still want. They want the man to make the official move, but they want to guide him there without taking real accountability for initiating. A compliment can work. A smile can work. Creating a moment can work. But the culture is different now. A lot of men are not going to assume that every hint is permission. They have learned that guessing wrong can cost them embarrassment, reputation, or peace. So if a woman is interested, she may need to be clearer than women were in the past. The old game depended on men being willing to take the risk. Modern dating taught many men not to.
So why do men no longer come up to women? I asked this in a TikTok last week, and it got so many comments, especially from men. And I just want to preface this with, this was no shade to men, this post was no shade to men, and neither is this one. I was just genuinely curious and asking. I love men, I think they're awesome, and I think that they're a little confused right now. But most of their responses said something like, we were told not to go up to you guys, and we were told that you want to be left alone, and you just want your own space, and you don't want us approaching you. Which for some women, that can absolutely be true, but I love meeting people in person, and I just think that it takes a confident person to go up to someone when you see them in person, and I think it's a really cool way to meet people rather than meeting people online. Men were also saying things like they were called creeps and weirdos, and they don't want to be called that. It's not a pleasant experience. But I will say that it has to do with how you approach a woman. Like, For example, myself and my friends have had men come up to us with a really, really intense energy, like a very in-your-face energy, and they're really nervous and they're kind of scattered and they're very pushy or weird, and their energy is just off. And one of the most attractive things to a woman is emotional intelligence. And
Sure needs healing, because what do you mean I go to a bar and this guy buys me a drink and everybody at the bar is like, like everyone was like shocked that a man bought me a drink. It was like they were watching a TV show. Like suddenly people sitting next to me are like whispering about it, people sitting on the other side whispering, the bartender's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I was like, are we okay? So I go to this bar by myself. I was just kind of exploring the neighborhood. I was going to bars I hadn't been to because I was staying at a hotel nearby, and the bar was kind of new, so I go in there. I just wanted to like just experience it and get a drink. I literally just got a beer, sat by myself at the bar with a beer. Within like 5 minutes or so, the bartender walks up to me and he's like, hey, the guy at the end of the bar wants to buy you a drink. And I was like, oh, okay, who? And I go and I look, and this guy's like, ooh, he's kind of like goofy and like, you know, not my type. And I was like, oh, okay. I was kind of thinking about it. And then the guy walks over and he was like, I just want to say you're so beautiful. And like, I would love to just do something nice for you. Love to buy you a drink if you don't mind. And like, normally I'm not really cool with doing that, because accepting a drink from a man you're not interested in can lead to some very crazy and sometimes dangerous situations. It's kind of a safety issue, because if you're not interested, men don't tend to react well to that. But he really was saying that he was doing it just to be nice, and that he was, you know, he made it sound like it was low pressure. I was like, okay. So he sits down next to me, and I don't know why. I guess maybe people were surprised that I like accepted the drink, or that I allowed him to sit next to me.
Here's what's really happening. Men listened. For years, the message was clear. Do not bother women, do not approach, do not make them uncomfortable, do not be creepy, do not assume interest. So a lot of men adjusted. They stopped walking up, they stopped buying drinks, they stopped risking public rejection for a stranger who might shame them for trying. Now some women miss the very behavior the culture discouraged. That does not mean every approach was perfect. Some men were awkward, pushy, or too intense. But the answer cannot be to punish normal men for approaching and then complain that nobody approaches anymore. Men respond to incentives. If the risk is humiliation, many will choose silence.
If you, as a woman, have a husband and you are not a man hater, I don't trust your husband.
Oh, no, not that. Some random woman with bigoted views doesn't trust your husband because you're not as bigoted as they are. How awful.
I don't trust him. I probably don't like him.
I'd be rather curious to know how many women out there that are actually sensible would care that some woman who despises all men thinks about their husband. A lot of people really overestimate the importance of their own opinions.
Probably doesn't treat you right. You probably don't run the right program for that man. Like if you have a man, but you don't generally hate most men, right? Not all. I don't trust your husband.
Maybe they don't understand the definition of hate. That's entirely possible. It is so often overused these days.
Because the man-hating women that ended up with a man, they're the real one.
Yes, indeed. They're the real ones that most sensible men want to avoid.
And they have vetted that man that's there. They have vetted him. They know everything about him, inside out, upside down. And I would trust that man.
It's really unfortunate that some women out there really don't have a lot of respect for other women, unless, of course, they think in the exact same way that they do. Or otherwise, they would know that women who even love and respect men actually do vet their partners. But they would know that if they actually climbed out of their echo chamber once in a while.
Men not approaching you in public has nothing to do with you being too pretty or too intimidating. It has everything to do with you not being open. And by open, I mean your body language and your energy. So if you're looking down at your phone, you're talking to your friends and absolutely like not looking away, you know, you're crossing your arms, these are things that suggest that you might be in a relationship or that you just might not be interested. So if you want a man to approach you, what you're gonna do is you're gonna, you know, slightly glance around the room, slightly, okay, in a very feminine way. And if you see someone that you might be interested in, you make eye contact, hold it for a few seconds, smile, and then you look away, okay? And if that man's interested in you, he will walk over to you. What you're not going to do is you're not going to go and approach a man, okay? Because when you approach a man, when you go up to a man, he's going to think you're easy. He's going to think you approach a lot of men, okay? And I know that there are guys that say that they love a woman that approaches. That's a loser. That's a loser, because a good man, he would never want the girl that approaches him. He'd want the girl that he approaches.
This is exactly why men are confused. Women say they want to be approached, but then create a rule book where men have to notice tiny signals, read body language perfectly, and still take all the risk. Smile for 3 seconds, look away, be feminine, do not approach him. But somehow he is supposed to know the difference between interest and coincidence. That is not romance. That is a guessing game. And in today's culture, many men are done guessing. Calling men losers for appreciating a woman who approaches is also backwards. A woman being direct does not automatically make her easy. It means she knows what she wants. If women want more men to approach, they need to stop making the rules impossible.